So this is the anniversary of the uprising which got rid of the Shah of Iran and supposedly replaced him with a new regime, but unfortunately the new regime led at that time by Ayatollah Khomeini hijacked the revolution and has become an even worse, more oppressive regime than the previous corrupt and venal regime run by the Shah. Now we have a pariah state, possibly the most dangerous state in the world today, threatening to upset the balance of power and upset the entire situation of peace, not only in the Middle East, but threatening world peace. And we have a regime led by Khamenei that is so oppressive, basing its oppression on a bogus interpretation of Islam, and really torturing, abusing, raping women in prison. The horror stories that daily arise from Iran are shocking to the world. What the people want in Iran, the ordinary people, they want freedom, they want democracy, they want human rights, they want women's rights. And these are the things that are being offered by the main opposition to the mullahs, the opposition that we've seen in recent papers published by the Pentagon, are the most feared opposition by the fascist theocratic regime in Tehran, by the mullahs. And that's the People's Mujahideen, the National Council for Resistance in Iran, led by Mrs. Maryam Rajavi, because they offer their interpretation, their democratic interpretation of Islam, would bring freedom, democracy, human rights, women's rights, an end to the death penalty, an end to torture, and an end to the nuclear program that threatens the stability of not only the Middle East but the whole world. And it's for that reason that we in the European Parliament and a large body of MEPs, actually a majority of MEPs in the European Parliament, support the People's Mujahideen and support the National Council for Resistance and repeatedly invite Mrs. Rajavi to come and speak to us. It's for that reason we have fought furious campaigns, first of all to have the PMI taken off the UK and EU terror list, and more recently to have them removed from the US terror list, because they had been placed on these terror lists as part of the appeasement process, the failed appeasement process, where successive foreign ministries in member states of the EU and in the US had attempted to appease the mullahs by agreeing with their demand that the PMI should be listed as terrorists on bogus, made-up charges. Now that they are taken off all of these terror lists, now that we have exposed the lies and the propaganda that led to them being listed in the first place, it is important now that we realize they offer the only possible solution to the ongoing threat from the mullahs in Tehran. The third way, the way that Mrs. Rajavi has always advocated, is back the opposition, back the people of Iran in opposing the mullahs, overthrowing that regime and restoring democracy, a democracy that everyone in Iran is praying for.